Welcome to Whips in the Dungeon 101.38. We're going to take a brief moment and talk about sport cracking. Sport cracking is very popular in Australia and different parts of the world, and a lot of people enjoy putting on their cowboy hat, their sparkly shirt, and going out to the park and cracking. Sport cracking is basically learning to do multiple cracks in the air. It typically is two-hand routines, and then there's a target cutting component to a sport cracking competition. The problem with transferring sport cracking over into the dungeon is the dungeon's a sacred space, and in at least in my paradigm, the cracks and the whip movement should match up with the energy that's in the dungeon. I see people come in to the dungeon and they do pop, 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 and it doesn't quite fit with what's going on in the dungeon. In dungeon play, we're not cutting a target. In fact, in many dungeons, if you cut your whip catcher and start throwing bodily fluids around the dungeon at 767 miles an hour and atomizing blood, they will actually stop the scene. So we're working with energy exchange, we're working with varying sensations on different body parts of the whip catcher that we're sharing that sacred space with, and it's not sport cracking. So I would encourage my sport crackers to sport crack in the park, and when they come into the dungeon to share that sacred space with that beautiful person or persons that they're playing with. Today's key word, before I forget it, is consent.